Well, hello and welcome to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the most unusual tarot reading anywhere on the internet. In fact, actually, anywhere. And it's because I have 2 points. One, I focus the reading on being understandable. I focus the reading on helping you to manifest the human kryptonite that is manifesting. We are available for manifesting as very young children. But that gets twisted, gets perverted. And so instead of being positive, we're negative. So very often what we're doing, at least subconsciously anyway, we're manifesting negatively. Well, I can't have this, I can't do this, I can't. And you don't get it. And then you say, well, yeah, I can't manifest. Well, that's exactly what you're doing. So with me, I focus on something that I learned about tarot. It is not predicting. I've done it for 20 years. I don't see the prediction, but I do see the science of potential. I use 3 cards. Together, I knit them together into kind of a little story, an idea, a thought. And what that does is make something very clear to you. That's the biggest thing that I really try to focus on. Because I've done tarot for 20, I've done numerology and astrology for 50 years. Invariably, by the time people have finished readings, it's chop suey. There's so many parts and pieces of it, you really don't have a good, clear, focused picture. I don't want that to happen here. No rainbows, no unicorns, just the message from the cards, the frequency from the cards so that you understand it. And then, being the science of potential, you can go yes, no, or maybe I need to think about it a little bit. So it's very, very important. Today's Tao Manifesting Tarot theme, by the way, is the calm within the storm. The calm within the storm. That's really the energy that you really need to focus on. All of us do. What that basically says is that we're looking for peace, right? How powerful having peace in your life is. Oh, you can have more things, more cars, more houses, more money, more. But you know what you find out? The people who have the things, they don't lead very peaceful lives. Oh, yeah, they have glamorous lives. And oh, yeah, they have a lot of glittery things around them, but they don't have the peace. Remember an interview I heard just 6 months ago, something like that. Somebody had just talked to the guy who runs Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Larry Fink. She said, I never met a more unhappy person. This guy is sitting on top of the world. Just got, by the way, included into the World Economic Forum. They want him to lead. He wants them to be the leader. And with all of that stuff, she says it was palpable how unhappy he was. This, by the way, is the same guy, Larry Fink, who says that you and I cannot own private homes anymore and we can't have cars. And I suspect that's just the beginning of his list. So when it comes to doing tarot, when it comes to taking those 3 cards and putting together a frequency, a message, a feeling, a manifestation, that's my job. I want you to walk away knowing clearly. And then, of course, I add in the tarot, along with the tarot, numerology and astrology. Those are the science of cycles. History repeats because the astrological cycles repeat. So what happened a week ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 2,000 years ago, when those planets all come back to the same point, and that's not easy because it's cycles within cycles within cycles, you get the same energy. Not necessarily the same events, but the same energy. So today's tarot frequency is the destination, the calm within the storm, looking for peace. You got the map with the numerology and astrology. Big stuff. We're going to put it all together for you as quickly as I can. In fact, I just got one quick little reminder here. I have one email now. I kind of got my act together in that department because I'm not real good at answering emails. But I got one now, tau-tarot@proton.me. Tau-tarot@proton.me. Leave me a message. Good message, bad message, commentary, whatever. Doesn't make any difference. It's my way of reaching out and your way of reaching back. Very good stuff. So I thank you in advance. So we're looking for the energetic cycle laid out by the tarot cards. We have a map to follow with the astrology and numerology. The table is set. So let's begin your Tau Manifesting Tarot reading. We're going to begin with something called astrologic, right? Talked about astrology. I've been doing this now, I think, for 2 months. I think about 2 months. And the reason I'm doing it is about a year from now, next July 4th, 2026, the United States of America will celebrate its 250th anniversary if we survive. I am hoping that we do, but we'll see how it all shakes out. Things are pretty interesting. So what I did was decided to use the astrology, numerology, to take a look at American history. Let's go back in time. And let's see how we've progressed or regressed, as the case may be. For example, July 4, 1776, Pluto, Uranus were at 2 specific points in the sky, in the zodiac. About 2 years ago, they were in exactly the same spot because it takes 250 years for Pluto to go around the solar system. Uranus takes 84 years, so it kind of spun around a couple of times, but they finally caught up. Pluto is evolution, Uranus is revolution, 1776. What's going on now? Same situation, no representation, but they tax us. And if you remember your history from revolutionary times, no taxation without representation was one of the things. Turns out that the banks, the European bankers, were the ones pushing. In fact, have been pushing from day one. They're the ones that started Wall Street. They did 2 short-run banks of the United States. They killed a couple of presidents who balked at independent banks, central banks. And every war that the United States has had has been sponsored by European bankers. So things kind of lay out and you see what we're facing. So we're now up in the little time period of 1920 and 1925. We've just gotten past World War I. Again, set up by bankers. In fact, you had 2 brothers. One in the United States, he was the one that financed America in World War I, and then his brother in Germany financed Germany in World War I. So you have 2 brothers working together to finance a war, and they got rich, of course. But we're past that now. So where are we? Well, out of World War I, we get the Balfour Declaration. That is a very important thing because it's setting up exactly the world we have right now. It was set up by Lord Balfour for Lord Rothschild. What they did basically was say, okay, guess what? We're going to take Palestine and we're going to give it to the Jews. 1917. Now, the British had no right to do that. Didn't make any difference because the Rothschilds, who ran the economic system in Britain, had for a couple hundred years, they were the rulers. And they said, we want Palestine for the Jews. And so Lord Balfour said, yowza, yowza, we're going to take care of it for you. And we see what we're doing today. So the Balfour Declaration immediately after World War I, we also tried to start up the League of Nations, try to put together some sort of a central world government. Didn't work. We gave women the right to vote, also the right to work. Why? Well, because with women working, that doubles the amount of income tax. The Federal Reserve, set up in 1913, also passed a bill to make the income tax legal. So if you got more people working, like women, you double the amount of income tax, and that makes it better for the central bankers. Black slaves, or former black slaves, moved north up to the big cities in the north, and then we begin the Roaring Twenties, which to me was another opportunity to heat up the banking, the money industry, or the money cartel here in America, so that they could take more money from the middle class. That's the whole point. I mean, Wall Street was started in 1791. That first Bank of America was, I think, 1797 or 98. Bankers set all that up. Their job is to keep throwing things at you so you stay poor. So 1920 to 1925, yeah, we're past World War I, but man, there's a ton of change in the air. The astrology says that Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto were all in water signs. So that makes people very emotional, gives them this emotional connection. We got out of the war, yay! Well, World War I was really intentionally a setup for World War II. You'll find out as we get farther down the road. But for the average person, they were thrilled to get out of the war. They were thrilled to begin the Roaring Twenties. The nation was on fire. Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto in water signs. Lots of emotion. People were just in the mood to celebrate, I guess. We also had Saturn, Neptune in fire and air signs. That's a nice situation. But what happens when you put air into fire? It blows up. Roaring Twenties led to the Depression. Yeah. Remember I said that the bankers set these things up so that they can keep taking money from us? So you want more workers so you can get more money for the income tax. Now you want to fire up what you created originally, Wall Street. You want to fire up people to get involved in Wall Street so they'll give up more of their money yet. Very interesting time. And from there, the stage is being set intentionally for World War II. Couldn't get it all done in World War I, but they can set it up for World War II. Let's look at the meme of the day. This is something that's related. It's about Putin and about the Rothschilds. You need to read this. The reason they are going after Vladimir Putin, not that Putin is a great guy, not that I would trust him necessarily, that's not the point. I think that he is one of the leaders in the world right now, and I think that's probably not so bad. May not be great, but it's not so bad. But the reason the bankers are after him was because he shut down all the Rothschild banks. He shut down the central bank in Russia in the early 1990s. You don't do that. Muammar Gaddafi was killed because he was trying to start his own economy, money. Saddam Hussein, very few people know it, but he was in the same position. He was trying to link up countries around him, and they were going to start their own economy. Bankers said, you can't do that. Even John F. Kennedy wanted to set up his own, and we know what happened to him. These people do not care. It's their world, and we are not welcome to it. Thank you very much. Got the missing link here. Remember I was talking about big 15-minute cities consolidating one world government? Well, apparently, England is on the verge of shutting down the World Economic Forum's 15-minute cities program. Almost all the cameras were destroyed. 50,000 people refused to pay the fines. Cameras cannot be protected if police refuse to take action. What they're doing is, and the group is the Blade Runners, they're going and they're shutting down all those little cameras put all over Britain. They say, catch us if you can. Big Brother is losing his sight. Maybe that's a good sign. Cross fingers. Let's move on to the Tarot. 10 of Swords. This guy looks dead. Looks are deceiving, however. But without a doubt, he's not in good shape. He's betrayed. But this card also means, if you look at it slightly differently, self-sacrifice. You see the horizon. The sun is rising. So yes, he has been betrayed, lied to, because swords are facts, data, the truth. He's been lied to. But he's willing to sacrifice himself for the good of everybody else. And apparently it will pay off if you take a look at that sunrise exactly behind him. Next card up is the Two of Wands. Where's the self-sacrifice? He's envisioning a better future, a more honest future, a more in touch future, a more powerful future. That's what the wands are. He's making a choice. What kind of world do I want to live in? Something that is run by computers and has no humanity, or do I want the humanity? Two of Wands is planning, originality. After deciding that he would sacrifice himself from the Ten of Swords, he has decided that he's going to invest. He's going to start planning originality for a much better world. Now, to do that, there's something that he'll need, and that's the Fool card. He'll need faith. People look at the Fool card as like, well, this guy's a dummy. He doesn't know. He hasn't had any experience, and he hasn't been tainted yet. No, I don't look at it that way. I look at the Fool card. It's my favorite card in the tarot. I look at him as a person who has faith. A lot of people say, I got faith, I got faith, I got faith, and they don't do a damn thing. Well, faith without actions ain't faith. The Fool does exactly that. Look at all he's got is a knapsack, little flower, little doggy. He's standing on the edge of a cliff. He knows it's dangerous. He knows he doesn't know. But he believes. And that's what it's going to take. That's the self-sacrifice of the Ten of Swords. That's the originality of the Two of Wands. You take those things, combine them together, and you got the Fool stepping forward in faith. Easy to say, not so easy to do. Well, we're out of time. Thank you so much. I always regret that hitting this point in the tarot reading. But there's tomorrow, and hopefully you and I will have a chance to get together. I look forward to it. Please like and subscribe. It's essential. It's vital. I've been through this before. You know why. Please remember to like and subscribe. Between now and the next time you and I do tarot together and manifest, peace and blessings.